to take a small I'm Lauren, and I feel so weird today because I have a middle part and I never ever wear a middle part. I just feel like I look so odd and it makes my face look weird. But anyways, obviously today we are recreating Meghan Markle's gorgeous wedding look, both the hair and makeup. Little disclaimer, this is not an exact replica, just kind of my take on her look. Obviously me and Meghan have very different skin tones, so any colors that she used are going to look very different on me, and then her skin is just flawless and gorgeous and she has freckles, and so I can't really recreate that. But so this is just kind of my take, my version on her makeup. And then obviously for her hair, in most pictures and clips she's wearing that gorgeous veil, which obviously covers her updo, so it's kind of hard to tell what exactly is going on under there. And then the one picture that they released that she doesn't have her veil on, it's a side view, so it's really kind of hard to tell exactly what her updo looks like. But once again, this is just my recreation, what I think it probably looked like and how I would have done it. So if you would like to see my version of Meghan Markle's wedding look, keep on watching. Okay, so first we are going to start with our brows. Her brows were very natural, of course, as was the whole look, so we're not really going to go for a new shape or anything. We're just simply going to fill in and so we're just going to simply fill in and enhance the shape that we already have. So usually, as you can see, like, my brows are pretty sparse, but they're getting better though. They've grown significantly. I've been trying to just like not really pluck them as much, but usually I kind of create a whole new shape, but today I'm just going to simply fill in and work with the shape that I have using the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Pencil in the shade Universal Taupe. This works out for me perfectly in my skin tone. It really matches my hair and everything. I've never really seen it on other skin tones, so I can't really tell you how universal it is, but it works nicely for me. Now I am going to extend my tail out just a little bit, because as you can see, my brows end pretty far, and the reason that is because I am a side sleeper, and so they just kind of rub. I'm just doing little feather-like strokes, simply filling in that shape. So obviously her whole look was super natural, and I think she looked gorgeous. I know there's like a lot of controversy, people saying like, why did she go so boring? But she was just kind of, you know, sticking to her true self, going with her natural style. You know, some people like to go over the top on their wedding day, and that's fine, but some people like to stick more timeless. I honestly prefer that. You know, obviously I get on here and do all these crazy looks, but even on my wedding day, I didn't do anything super duper glam. I mean, it was still glam, but it was more soft. Like, I did lashes and everything, but I didn't do highlight. I didn't really do any bronzer. I didn't even put shadow on my lower lash line. I just did a very neutral taupe eye and some lashes, a baby little tiny wing. But that's always my tip with like wedding and like bridal makeup and even prom makeup, is just to do something natural and timeless. Like, you want to be able to look at a picture and not be able to tell when that photo was taken. Obviously you do what you want. If you want to go full glam for your wedding day, go full glam. If you want to be trendy, do be trendy. But if you wanted my advice, as I've said before, if you did want it, do something a little more natural and timeless. Now that my brows are in place, I'm just going to set them with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. And as you can see, I really didn't do a whole lot to them. Usually I create a whole new shape so I can get a better arch and make them look a little more even. But today we are going for that natural look. People were like saying how she just looks so plain and whatnot, but I mean, I still think she looked gorgeous. There's really nothing more beautiful than a bride on her wedding day, no matter what she's wearing. And so, yeah. So now we're gonna move on to our face, and for primer, I'm using the Honey Do Me Up primer. I've talked about this in my last video before the last. but this is just gonna give us a very nice dewy glowy base for our makeup. Obviously she really didn't have a whole lot of foundation on. It was just a very natural sheer coverage, enough for her freckles to still show through. Obviously hers is gonna look a lot better than mine because her skin is nicer and she has freckles and she has a nice glow to her skin. Once I let that sink in for a few minutes, I'm then gonna go in with my It CC Cream Your Skin But Better. This is my lightest, sheerest coverage foundation that I have, and I'm just going in with a damp beauty sponge. And I might have to go in and spot conceal because obviously I have some stuff going on, but I wish I had such beautiful skin like hers that I didn't have to, I had to wear like the fullest coverage foundation on my wedding day, or any other day really. But it just goes to show like just how beautiful and confident she is, and I think that look just really spoke for itself. And it just proves that you don't have to go all out and do crazy things. I mean, if you want to, that is perfectly fine, but you don't have to. Now that we have our light dewy glow, I'm going to go in and conceal with the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. This is very hydrating. I don't feel like it has the best staying power compared to Tarte Shape Tape, but I still do really like it. So I'm just gonna lightly dot it under my eyes. It just like proves that she really doesn't need any makeup. She's just so naturally beautiful, and she's just still so glowing. Like every time she smiled, she just looks so happy and radiant, even without a caked on face. So as far as her dress, at first I didn't really care for it. At first I was kind of like, that's plain. But after more and more pictures came out, and dress doesn't make the bride makes the dress. And she just looks so radiant and beautiful, like I said, and so I just really kind of fell in love with it, and now I think it's a really gorgeous dress. It was very simple, but it had sleeves, and it was just so elegant and timeless once again. Like, you will be able to look at that picture and not know when it was taken. Same with Kate's. Kate's was very gorgeous too, but like Diana's, you can look at that dress and know that that wedding took place in the 80s. But with her dress, it's just so beautiful and timeless, and it will just be in style for years to come. And it's just so beautiful and gorgeous. And her veil, oh, her veil was just so stunning. I really feel like that was her like little pizzazz, like wow factor, was the veil. It was gorgeous. So I think she looks beautiful. And I just really like sleeves on wedding dresses. I'm not a big fan of strapless dresses. I like sleeves. I just feel like they're so elegant and once again timeless. And so my dress did have sleeves. If you want, I always have it linked below, but I feel like no one actually reads my descriptions. But I do have my Instagram name down below, and I'll put it there for you as well, and you can go and look. I do have some pictures on there already, and I'll post a few more if you're interested in seeing what I looked like on my wedding day. My dress was a little more funky and out there. It had lace sleeves. Well, at the top it was a mermaid style, and at the top it was all lace, and it had long lace sleeves, and then it had a nude underlay, so it was ivory, but it still had like a champagne nude underlay, and then the bottom skirt was all tulle, and in the back it was backless, but there was buttons, and it was just so beautiful. I loved it, and it was my dream dress. It was actually the first dress I tried on, and it was just so gorgeous. So I'm partial to sleeves, so that's one reason why I did like her dress. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna barely bake. I'm not really a big baker, as I've said in past videos. I feel like it makes my under eyes look dry and cakey and gross, so I'm just gonna bake a little tiny bit with my Coty Airspun powder, just to kind of set those under eyes so that they don't crease. I don't know. What was your opinion on her dress? Did you like it? Like I said, I know it's not everyone's style. A lot of people, I think, these days go for more strapless, but I thought it was gorgeous. I did think it was maybe a little big on her, but I understand that because it's very hard to, even though her dress is custom, and I feel like it's very hard to fit sleeves to a person, because even though I had my dress altered and everything, my sleeves still were very big on me. So I don't know if that's partially why, or, you know, whenever you're, if you have been married, then you understand, like, the month before, you are just so stressed out, and it is possible for you to lose a lot of weight even like after your last dress fitting, so that could have happened too. So to set the rest of my face, I'm using the It by Pores Illumination Powder, and this is just obviously illuminating. But I'm just gonna put it in my T-zone and in the places that I get oily, because I want to leave that natural glow that we got going on. And I'm also going to place that on my lids. And I did put foundation on my lids too, in case you missed that. So her eye makeup was just very minimal, very matte, and very natural. So first I'm going to take the shade Streaking from the Soleil Nude Patootie palette, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of Undressed just for a nice little transition color, just to help with blending purposes. I'm just gonna kind of place that in my crease, blend it out a little bit. Overall, I think the wedding was just stunning. I liked the modern take on a classic, you know, royal wedding. I just thought it was just very unique, and I loved every part of it, honestly. He just looked so happy, they both did. A lot of people are saying that they'll get divorced and that she was just acting, but it's hard to fake that genuine happiness, and I do feel like they had it. You know, it was a very emotional wedding. I don't think she was acting. It seemed very real to me. She just seemed very in love, very happy. Now for my lid, I'm just gonna take this guy, which is the shade Reveal, and it's just a very natural nude taupe. I'm just taking that on a shadow brush, and I'm gonna place that on my lid, and then bring it up into the crease. And just blend that as I go. Obviously this is gonna look a little different on me than it did on her. Packing that color on, and then I'm just gonna go back in and blend that all together. That's pretty much all we're doing for a lid. Once you have that all nice and blended, we're then going to move on to eyeliner. And her eyeliner was just very tight lined and natural. So I'm going in with the Mally Eye Color Waterproof Liner, Gel Liner in the shade Graphite. And I love this eyeliner. It goes on so smooth and it stays very nicely, but I never really hear anyone talking about it. But anyways, I'm just going to first tight line my eyes. So I'm going to look in another direction and just place that pencil right on my upper waterline. This doesn't really bother me. I'm used to it at this point. Sometimes I can look down. And then I am going to just slightly line my lid as well. Gently tugging just to make my lid a little more taut. Don't want to pull too hard. So as you can see, I've just kept that very thin and close to the lash line, a little sideways. So now I'm gonna go and do the same thing on the bottom. Like so, giving a little definition to the eye, but not going too thick. Getting thinner as you get closer to the inner corner. Just like that. So now we are just going to apply our mascara, and I'm using the It Superhero Mascara. It does not appear that she has on any lashes or anything. If she does, they're super natural. So I'm just gonna do mascara. So next I'm moving on to my face, and I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I don't think she had any bronzer on. She obviously has a deeper skin tone than mine, but I'm just doing this to add a little bit of a glow. Not really adding a whole lot. Now that we have that all nice and blended, I'm going to go in with some blush. And I'm just taking the BH Cosmetics Nude Blush Palette. Let's see what color she has on her cheeks. It's just a very sun-kissed, barely there blush. So I'm gonna take this guy right here, which is just this very natural pink shade. And I'm just going to sweep that on the apples of my cheeks. For lips, it just looks like she has this very like pale pinky nude shade. So I'm first going to take the Sephora liquid lip in this shade 33. And then once that dries, I'm going to go over top of it with the Je ne sais quoi Rose lipstick from, or the lip treatment from It Cosmetics. So it's not dead on hers, but she has a much different skin tone than me, so any lipstick I do is going to look different on me than it does on her. So now I'm going to go dry my hair a little bit more because it's still kind of damp, and then we're going to move on to the hair. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is part my hair down the middle. It already kind of is. I hate parting my hair down the middle. I think it looks so weird. I never do it. You know, some people can rock a middle part. I cannot. I just feel like I look dumb. Okay, so now we're gonna make some sections. So the first section I'm gonna section off is right where my bang is. So I'm gonna section off right before my ear. Then I'm just going to mimic that same section on the other side, like so. So then I'm just going to simply brush all of the rest of my hair back, and I'm going to take the section, I'm gonna go meet right at the end of that one, and then I'm going to cut this hair in half and bring it around to meet that section on the other side. So I'm just simply cutting the hair and back in half. So now I have two sections like this. Just gonna twist this guy up and place him out of the way. So now I have this back here, and I'm just gonna brush him out. Next I'm going to take a small I'm going to take a small little elastic like so, and I'm just going to simply make a ponytail. Just like that. So make sure it's centered. So now I'm gonna split my ponytail in half. And I am going to back comb these sections just a little bit, just to give them a little bit of texture, and this will help them to hold a lot better. So I'm kind of just like recreating what I think it looks like. There really is only one picture of her without her veil, and it's there really is only one picture of her without her veil, and it's a side view, so it's kind of hard to tell. I'll bring you guys a little closer. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going on, but this is just kind of what I think is going on. And so yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just turn around so you guys can see what I'm doing.
So then all I'm doing is just making little loops or curls around my finger and then pinning them. The longer your hair is, the more loops you'll have to make down the strand, and I'm just really placing them in random places. There's really no rhyme or reason to where I'm putting them. Just put them where you think would look best.
This little guy on the side, and I'm not going to do anything with this little guy in the back just yet. I'm going to go in and fix those at the very end and kind of incorporate them. So now that we have our bottom done, I'm going to take down this guy. I'm actually going to split him in half again. So I'm going to go kind of based off of my eyebrows and split that in half just so we have a little less hair to work with, like so. Clip that up, and then I'm going to make another ponytail with this hair hanging down right here. So I'm just simply making a ponytail right above where the start of my updo is. And now I'm just going to go in and do the same thing. As you can see, I'm doing this on straight hair. It definitely takes out a step. You know, you don't have to worry about curling first. We're gonna go back and curl some pieces at the end, but in order to create the actual updo itself, you do not need to be doing it on curly hair. top section down finally. Okay, so now I am going to do some teasing, so I'm just going to kind of section this off right here and just do a little bit of teasing. Nothing too crazy. I'm just going to back comb a little bit. I just want some natural volume. I'm just taking it section by section. Can't really see what I'm doing, but I am going to go all the way to this back section and give that a little bit of a tease as well. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all this hair that I have left,
and I'm just going to simply gather it into a ponytail and then twist it. And once you get it twisted, just simply pin it in place. Then with the remaining hair, just simply make the little loops like we did before.
We have our back somewhat finished. We're gonna go back and fix things here in a minute. We can move on to our front. So make sure that everything is even with your teasing. If it's not, you can just take your little tail comb and lift some things up if needed. So I'm just gonna take these little sections of hair. What I'm gonna do is I'm taking a 1-inch curling iron. I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm going to first roll up, leaving all those ends out. Then I'm going to work my way down the hair strand. And then I'm just going to let it go. Not really curling those ends very well. Once you got those guys curled, I'm then just going to take my comb and really comb them out together to get that nice little wave. So then I'm going to section this guy off. I'm going to leave just kind of that messy front. There's a lot of questions on whether or not her front was supposed to be out or not. I feel like it was. I'm gonna leave a little bit of hair in the front, and I'm just kind of grabbing random hair because it's messy. And then I'm just gonna pull the rest of this hair back and feed it into my updo. And then I'm gonna pin it. And then in a minute we'll feed it into the updo. So then I'm just gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna grab some wispy pieces, nothing too scientific, just make sure it's kind of even on both sides. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing. Feed that back. And then these guys in the back, I'm just going to simply add them to the updo like I did all of the other little loops. Got that all done, then you're just gonna kind of want to do some finishing touches, fix any little bumps, any little hairs that are hanging down. I kind of pulled up mine just to make it a little bigger, and then once you are happy with it, of course, we're just gonna finish off with some hairspray. She had her veil. I don't have a veil, or I do have a veil. I don't have a tiara, which she had placed right here. So if you were gonna do one, you would put it right behind where your heart is, so right there on the top of your head. And then she placed her veil right behind there, like so. I personally prefer whenever veils are placed back, like in the updo, but she still looked very pretty with her little get up like so. I think it was a little more back. It was kind of like right there. Yeah, that's probably a little more where it was. So she's obviously still looked super gorgeous, but yeah, I'm not into that. So instead, since I'm more of a guest, I'm gonna wear my little fascinator. I wish it was socially acceptable to wear fascinators like this all the time, because I would do it. I got this in Disney Springs at the little hat shop. For my bachelorette, we went to Disney World and we did a tea party at the Grand Floridian at the Garden View Tea Room, and I wore a hat, or I wore this fascinator, so that was fun. That's why I have this. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and whenever you take the time out of your day to spend a little bit of time with me. If you are not already, please hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell. That way you always know whenever I have a new video out. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.